Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Used Jester. My name is Junior, and we are looking at finally the Mattel Creations Eternia playset. Let's get right onto it. Why did I buy this playset? It's because somehow, some time ago, I had a vision of the playset with Grayskull and Snake Mountain to be a full-on battlefield. But I wasn't thinking of Origins. I wasn't even into Origins. I was thinking, and I wasn't thinking Masterverse. But for some reason, I was thinking the Mega Constructs versions of Masters of the Universe because I wanted to see a battlefield. So what you're seeing right here is it's very, very close to what I wanted. I still have to put the vehicles on stands and everything, by the way. This, oh my god, oh, Shira fell down. This movement tram, I saw this in my mind even as they were discussing this on their video stream from Mattel. I was thinking I wanted to replace the ones that come in with this playset with these two with vehicles that fly around Eternia doing battles. And I made it work. Anyway, I wanted to create a battlefield where heroes and villains of masters are fighting over Eternia and the whole universe, right? So I saw this vision in my mind, and I can't remember, did I buy the Mega Constructs first and then had the idea? Or did I buy Castle Grayskull first with the Mega Constructs to mess around with it and see what the scale was? And then the idea for Eternia popped. I can't remember because I think initially when they announced the Castle Grayskull, in my mind I was already thinking of creating a diorama battle piece, but not necessarily this. I was thinking it for Masterverse, and I was thinking I was gonna have to make a bigger version on my own Castle Grayskull. But when they announced Origins, and then I saw the Mega Constructs, I bought a few of them, and I liked the scaling. It makes Castle Grayskull much more bigger. And then they announced Eternia, and I saw this, right. So that's that's why I bought it. It's mixed media, I know. I don't care because I have Mondo Masters of the Universe for premium quality display. I have Masterverse for playability, playing, messing around with it, and still have good looking things. And now I have this for a diorama. So that's why I bought the playset to create an epic battleground for my Masters of the Universe. Now let's talk about pricing. The pricing is $650. I have never heard of the Eternia playset until maybe, I don't know, 5, 10 years ago. There was a YouTuber that was I had a video up that was talking about epic playsets that were ever created. The USS Flag, the Eternia, right? So that's the only time I got exposed to Eternia. While I was growing up, I was for the cartoons, and the toys that we had were the original vintage ones. And I knew about Castle Grayskull kind of, and I knew about Snake Mountain, but I never knew about Eternia, right? So when I saw that video, I was kind of interested in it. I looked at some other videos, and I knew I had a basic idea that the pricing, if you were ever to get a vintage one, the faults that's come with it, and how difficult it is. I know that you would be lucky to get uh, a vintage playset for $1,200. 1,000, anything over 1,000 is what you're looking for. And then you have to think about, is there any breakage? Are the railings working? Is it complete? Is it working? And not we're not even thinking about boxed sets, right? These are loose, and then you have to hunt for it. And if you're looking for a complete in box, where the box is kind of acceptable, you're probably thinking of $2,000. So when they announced 650, heck yeah, I bought it for 650. 650 a lot of money? It is a lot of money, right? It's $650. Not a lot of people can hash that out. But when you're comparing it for the older vintage value, and it's all brand new, newer plastic, hopefully better technology and what kind of material they used, then heck yeah. And then of course it's almost the same size as the original one, slightly bigger. Heck yeah. There was not even a question for me. The only question was my room, even a year and a half ago, was already getting full. And I had to think of where can I put this if I were gonna buy it. That was the only question for me, right? I should have bought two, to be honest. If I and tried to flip it, but I'm not that kind of a collector. I don't flip stuff. I buy stuff because I want to get it. That's that's the pricing. I'm sorry, guys. This is Mattel Creations. You are not gonna get this anymore, unless you're gonna go to an aftermarket. An aftermarket right now, if you can get this for $1,000, grab it. Okay, um, because there's not even 1,000 made. We didn't even get to the second backing to get Keklar. Okay, and it's a shame too. If this had gotten over 10,000, everybody who pledged for it could have gotten King Grayskull. As it is, because it didn't reach 10,000 backers, because Mattel changed their thing, because it didn't reach $10,000. Only the first few initial backers got King Grayskull. I've got King Grayskull, and I don't collect origins, so I might flip that. I might not. I don't know. I'm not really. I don't sell my stuff. That's the thing. Okay, so that's it for the price. Value wise, value wise, how can I say? The nostalgic feel for me is not there. I Because I never grew up wanting this playset. Value wise, because it fulfills my idea of creating this battle diorama, the value for me is higher than normal persons would. Normal collectors would play with this using origins, maybe even masterverse. I I'm not. I'm gonna. This is basically gonna be for the mega constructs. Value wise, I'm gonna be displaying this with Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. That's gonna be a second part of the video of how I'm gonna figure it out. So for me, $650, it's not a brainer. Having Looking at this now and looking at how much got sold, I my only regret is I didn't buy two of them, to be honest. Because guys, you're thinking 10,000. There's like 10,000 brand new Eternias now, and that's not gonna go up in value. Everybody who wanted Eternia probably got it during the fundraising, right? But you're not thinking of this correctly in terms of if you want to be invest and flip it. That's not the correct way of thinking it. What you should be thinking of is Masters of the Universe has been around since 1982, 1983, right? That's almost 40 years. And we still have Masters of the Universe. And we still have an Eternia vintage collectors out there. And they reissued a brand new Eternia 40 years after the original cartoons came out. So what you're thinking of is the collectors that are growing up now, who's watching Masters of the Universe from Netflix, and then thinking, "What is this?" And then looking back into the older cartoons, and then them growing up and looking for their toys, and those collectors growing up to look for the vintage toys, will no longer have access to Eternia, and there's only 10,000 stock out there. So is it gonna go up in value? It already is. It's People are trying to sell for $1,200, double the price. It's not gonna go down. And don't worry about your vintage getting ruined by the prices of this new Eternia stuff. There's enough of a separation out there for people for a higher level collectors who just wants the vintage, and they'll pay for it. So it may not be as astronomical as it is now, maybe, except if you got a truly complete vintage without any cracking or damage to the railings. But other than that, I think your investment in the old one's still secure. It's just that I just had to get it, and I'm sorry if my video is not doing you any service of telling you you're not going to be able to get it unless you want to pay more. But it just is. That's just the way it is. Oh, I forgot to do something. Modifications. I already told you. I already showed you the modifications I did for this one. So basically, what I did was I created um, a hitch, which is what you see in this. I made my own. Oh, Shira fell down again. And for now, I'm using this and kind of hokey setup. I also put lights on the figure. I think Mr. Home Arcade was the first one I saw it on. And he put it on, yeah, it flashes like that. He put it on one of those light pucks and he glued it inside, but I don't glue stuff. When I do my mods and customs, I want it to be reversible. And I did the process. It's gonna be later on in the video after my whole thing, where I do the unboxing, any kind of mods that I did. It's gonna be really fast forward in like 8 times the speed. So if you want to watch out for that and how I did it. Um, but I think before I started doing, I tried to explain the whole process. Anyway, it's all lit up, but I was already thinking about something similar, but I want to use spotlights. So the spotlights I have right now is two inside, one for each eye. I have one for the Gray Skull Tower, and I have the Snake Tower over here, lit up. I can turn it off, turn it back on again. 100% degrees and lights. Do the flashing. I don't have the color change because these are spotlights. I can buy. I have a spot for two more, which is gonna be perfect because I'm gonna put those for Gray Skull and Snake Mountain. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put these on risers so they're kind of like fighting and flying and all that stuff. But I do want more of these. I don't have the complete one. I don't have Mossman. I don't have Orko and the other stuff. The also cool thing about this, if you notice down here, Modi, or what's been his, the Moat Monster is now truly a monster because now he's capable of swallowing a whole figure over there. He swallowed one of the mermans over there. So yeah, I basically you can see a couple of mermans, that merman, mer people, that merman called over in the deep. But then Battle Cat also summoned some of his friends and family, so they're fighting those and some of the fakers. And you see, can you see up there? No, you can't see up in the tower, but there's one over there. And then you have Shira over there fighting with Hordak, and Sorceress is backing up Shira, because you can't let Hordak come in, because if you do, then he's gonna bring his entire horde, and this battleground will be completely different and shift away from the heroes. Because right now they're kind of holding their own. But yeah, um, that's basically it. So I want to say this to anybody who did back the Mattel Creations. Thank you for doing so, because it became a success, or successful enough that we got it, and it gave me the opportunity to own this playset. There's no way I could have afforded the vintage. There's no way I would have paid $1,000 for this. Um, so thank you for following through on that. Thank you, Mattel, for doing this. This is incredible. It's just incredible. So I don't know. I did not apply the stickers. Initially, what I want to do with the stickers is scan it first, and I would apply the scan stickers. But I'm thinking maybe I'll scan it, and maybe I want to sculpt certain pieces and apply those to the areas instead of stickers. I don't know yet. I want to customize this more. But like I said, I want everything that I customize to be completely reversible. This I can just put that out and put in the vehicles that's supposed to go there. If you want to see more of how things work and all that stuff, go check Pixel Dan. He pretty much explained everything, um, and all that stuff. I can't even show you the back, to be honest. It's just too massive. It's just gonna be a static thing. One of the things too I want to show. Notice the scaling of the figures over there is so perfect because now these guys are, the playset is monumental. It's monumentally big. I haven't done this. Let's see what happens when the claws. Oh, look at that! He grabbed skeleton. Yum 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 yum. That's kind of stuck there because I do run the wires over there, but you know, I gotta fix out the wires a little bit more. It's playing with this kind of brings it up to a whole new level. It's kind of like playing one of those Dungeons and Dragons where you set up these miniatures and miniature battles and all that stuff. It's just now massive, you know. And I think I kind of showed you the idea of what I wanted when I was reviewing customizing Castle Grayskull and all that stuff. So yeah, absolutely fun playset to have. So stay tuned. That's pretty much it for the review part of this. If you know, that's it's a big thumbs up. You know, um, the rest of the video is basically an 8 times sped up video of my unboxing, and how I did the eyes. Before I started it, I'll slow it down to explain the process. And I think I kind of there's a small clip when I started doing what I wanted for this clip, but I I didn't finish showing it because it's just such a simple process to make. It just gluing it didn't really matter how I did it and all that stuff. So I didn't video record it. So yeah, basically that's it. And then there's gonna be a second part of a video that I'm gonna make later on down the line. That video is discussing how I'm gonna incorporate Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, compact the space that's needed for this piece. Um, that's a lot of the speed. If you're wondering about how big it is, what space you need, check out Hebro's review. He pretty much was setting it up with Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, um, big sized. I think he was talking about 50 inches wide. No, he was talking about like 7 foot because he wanted it side by side and then 50 inches deep. And he gave a lot of leeway for the room. I if you're gonna design it that way. My second video is gonna be a compact video, and what I'm gonna do. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm sorry I'm not really looking into showing all the unboxing and everything. It's just this video is just an opinion. Everything else is what I did. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the second part. Stay tuned for that. You're really gonna enjoy it. One of the worst times or instances that might have occurred for this to arrive Very rainy weather here in California, sogging rain. I was really afraid that this thing was going to get wet tremendously, and I was having nightmares of soggy boxes and deteriorating boxes. But aside from some few wet spots, seems to be okay. Let's open it up, see what's looking, how the actual box looks. I'm definitely one of the very lucky ones. I've heard about the horror stories about the boxes being ripped, damaged, whatever. Mine is absolutely 95% pristine. The worst it ever got was maybe like this crease, but that's how can you avoid that with the weight of this box? Like it's basically on the edges, but everything looks great. So let me go ahead and I'll do a really quick time unboxing. I was really quite surprised that we were getting this. I don't think anybody knew it was coming. So it saved us all the hassle of making sure the box was perfect to preserve and get this. Plus, we only get that for the name of the whole thing, but it's beautiful. So let me just put it inside now. All right, we got presented about this what, November 2021? No, November 2022. They didn't really give us an exact dimensions of what we're gonna need as a space. I don't have a lot of space in my room. However, since 2022, I did allocate a particular space for this playset, and that space almost matches the table space here. Except mine, this table is from Walmart. That's 20 by um, 40 feet, 40 inches, 20 inches by 40 inches. Space I have is 21 inches by 42 inches. So this table is an almost approximate space for that space I have. When I was looking at this, I was looking at in terms of height, length, and width. And I think in one of the YouTubers they mentioned that along the rails, it's about supposed to be like 46 inches. But without the rails, the width of the whole thing is going to be 40 inches. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. First problem I encounter now is this base for the main tower alone is almost exactly to the size of the depth of the main tower. And it is 20 inches exactly from here to the end. What I didn't consider was the other bases, tower base and the snake base, are offset to the side, so they're going to run a little bit deeper. I need 10 more inches. No, I need like 10 or 12, one more foot in order for the whole thing to set to fit. Anyway, this thing alone is massive. It's, oh my god, problems. And yeah, I can already tell this is not going to be enough. The space I have is not going to be enough. So let's just build it and see what happens. I'm going to need to read the instructions on how to build this thing. Central tower assembly. When you pull this back, it basically rotates these two things at the base, which is that corresponds to these two things for the hands. So be very, what can you do if this thing snaps, the small piece of plastic snaps during the whole time, during the lifetime of this plastic, then this thing becomes inert. Really interesting design. because when you're putting it down, test the keys for these two and play around with this, making sure they're making contact correctly or properly. And then before you screw it on, test it first. Make sure this is going around. And that this is rotating inside. When you can see that happening, then screw it. Right. So first thing I'm going to do to kind of customize this, I think when we all first saw this face and the eyes, we were thinking of the same thing with the Thundercats layer with the eyes lit up. And I actually saw, I believe his YouTube name is Mr. Home Arcade, do this. But he used a light puck and he tried to put it behind the eyes. And he had an issue making it stick there. So he went ahead and glued it to the back here behind the eyes. I when I customize things, well, in this case, because of the price range and this thing, uh, I am thinking doing the same thing. But I had bought these mini spotlights for my Star Trek Enterprise from Tomy. I took it out for now because I can always buy another one for that. So what I'm planning on doing is lighting up the eyes and then using the remaining spotlights to spotlight the towers and all. So I think I'm either going to use one or two depending on how strong it is and how much I want to light it up. But I don't want it to become, I don't want to glue it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to cut a small piece of foam board and the friction, because it's going to be slightly bigger from the space here, should create a friction. So I can lodge it in there, and then I'll put like two holes in here where I can shove the spotlights in. Okay, that part. I kind of wish I'd done this before. Actually, obviously, that's not impossible. I think the better to shove from here there, or side to side. I think it's spotlight is battery operated, so you won't have wire sticking out. But I would have. I see where I put it. I'm thinking here. I don't have it perfect. I'm looking for it is. I think it show in there. There's one piece of shove here. Probably like. Um, 5 inches across. Should have enough of should be just enough. So if you're gonna copy what I did, here's the measurements slightly, and as you can see, it's getting scrunched in. It doesn't matter because it's foam anyway. 5 inches should do enough. Distance from the eye holes that I'm gonna make, and you probably just need like 1.5 to make it all even. That's an A and A. One, two, three, 4 A's.